before 12 uphando lwakutshanje olwenziwe liziko elijongene nabantu abatsha Youth Capital kunye ne-University Stellenbosch luveza ukuba babalelwa phaa ku-250,000 abantu abatsha abazama ukuphumelela ibanga leshumi besebenzisa inkqubo yethuba lesibini lokubhala iimviwo zebanga leshumi. Le they don't form part kwabo ke bathi ba-announce as abaphumelele grade 12. But to talk more about this now on the line, we are joined by Meyer, a policy analyst at Youth Capital. Good morning, Sam, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, Ayabonga. Thank you.
Who are the second chances, and why did the Youth Capital, decide to carry out research focusing on them?
Second chances are people who didn't achieve a matric certificate when they were in the full-time schooling system. So they exited the schooling system without having a matric certificate and are now pursuing a second opportunity at getting a matric certificate through either the National Senior Certificate or the Senior Certificate. And the reason we've had research done to better understand the second chance landscape is because we have a focus in our action plan at Youth Capital, which is an action plan to shift gears on youth unemployment. And education is a focus of that action plan. And we found that certification is a big challenge with regard to education. People who don't have education or who don't have certification struggle to get further education and training opportunities as well as employment opportunities.
And as you have mentioned, the issue of certification, one wonders why it is so important, as we are usually talking about young people dropping out of school and some even failing matric and then decide not to to take the opportunity and rewrite their exams. Why is it important to talk about this certification?
As you've mentioned, dropout is a big issue, and that's a different issue, and it is important to try to reduce the dropout rate and try to get young people who drop out back into this system full time. But there is a large cohort of young people who are not going to go back into the schooling system full time, and so alternative pathways are needed to help them to still get certification so that they can have further education and training and have a better chance of having sustainable employment in their lives. Some recent data from Let's Cram the Third Wave found that people who have a matric certificate were more likely post a hard lockdown to be in employment than those without a matric certificate.
And what are some of the challenges that these young people face as they attempt to pursue the second chance opportunities?
For many, pursuing a second chance is a difficult and a lonely journey, and many feel and actually have the experience of doing it on their own. And some of the main challenges include navigating the information that one needs, so information about eligibility, registration, subject choices, where to write. And also another big challenge is preparing for these exams, getting the material, the right material, and having support to work through that material. Other challenges include costs, so the costs of registering, the cost of getting preparation materials, the cost of travel, if travel is involved. So it's a challenging thing to do, to pursue matric as a second chancer. One needs a lot of support, including mental health support and psychosocial support. And for too many second chances, that kind of support is not available, especially if you're not pursuing this through a private college or NGO.
And I can imagine that maybe some of them, they don't have a teacher in front of them, which would make things easier. If they don't understand, they do it alone.
And that's exactly right. That lack of support makes it a lot more difficult. The advantage of being in a in the schooling system is that you have the support of the school around you. But when you're outside of the system, if you're not pursuing a second chance through a private college or through an NGO that's supporting second chances, it's extremely difficult and it can feel quite lonely.
What are some of the solutions highlighted in your research?
Well, some of the easier solutions would be to have the necessary information on a central site that's easy to understand, as well as having the preparation materials on a central site that's well organized. And access is one thing, and having information in one place is one thing, and it's important. Another thing is making it accessible in terms of cost. So if these services are online, for many people it might not be accessible if they don't have the data to access or if they don't have a device. So making sure that the infrastructure is in place so that people have meaningful access. And if they have a device to gain access, making sure that it's free for use. So making these sites data free. And another big thing that would help is to track the people pursuing a second chance over time. At the moment, insufficient tracking is done of individuals over time, so we don't have a real clear sense of how many young people successfully complete. And it also makes it difficult to know what support interventions are needed and would help without having that tracking data.
And lastly, you did mention in your report that the Department of Education does not mention the second chances, like a report on their success stories. Did you maybe find out as why they don't do so?
Well, not directly from the department, but the possible reason is that the success rates of second chances are quite low. And there may be reluctance from the department to report on that. It is a challenging thing to do, as I've mentioned, but many second chances don't actually complete all the exams in 1 year, so they won't pass in 1 year because they may be doing it over 2, 3, 4 years. And so those pass rates are not necessarily going to be as high as the full-time matrics. So that might be a possible reason, that the low pass rates.
Well, Meyer, thank you very much then for coming through.
Thank you very much. And just to say, if anyone would like to find out more about this, they can download our report on this on newscapital.co.za.
Thank you very much, Meyer.